We are going to start by talking a little bit about our university, All Nation Christian Church International University. And briefly, we call the university ANCCI University. And you can visit our website at ancciuniversity.org. The unique thing about our university is that it draws the faculty from many races, and also our students come from across the globe. And so when you join ANCCI University, you come and hear theological voices from many races. And at this time, when in our country we are talking and thinking about races and racism, this is one of the subjects which we also pay attention to in our university. Our philosophy of communication is that we believe that there must be a meeting of meanings. That is, the meanings from the student and the meaning from the faculty member. And so most of the time we spend our time discussing. And among the things, of course, we discuss, beside all the biblical topics, we also discuss about prejudice. And you know, racism always stems from prejudice. And prejudice is imparted to the community most of the time in order to protect the community. And nobody who can say that he does not have some amount of prejudice. And so sometimes in our class we will bring that topic, and I will start by talking about the prejudice in my community. Long time ago, if you could meet someone who comes from my community, if they were 5 and one of them did not belong to the community, if you ask someone who was in that group, how many people are there? He will tell you there were only 4 people. If there was one of them who did not belong to the community. And I invited the students also to share the community prejudice. And I remember one of the students from Democratic Republic of Congo, he shared his community prejudice. And he told us that if you are in the aircraft, and then after you have come out of the aircraft, if one person from your community asks you, how many people are there? If you happen to be only the person from that community, and there were 200 people in the aircraft, the answer will be there was only one person. And I remember other students turned that sharing to a joke, and they asked that student, how many people do you have in this class? And he jokingly said, well, there are only 2 people, because there happen to be only 2 people who can, and one another person who could speak his language. So what I am trying to say is that in our university, we share those things which are not shared by other universities. And then when we know that prejudice is in all of us, then the second step is to try to find out how can we relate to the people of other community. And I have been in this country for 35 years, and one of my calling is breaking the cultural barriers. And one way of breaking the barriers is just by being with someone of the other race. If you are a black person, if you can interact with the people of the other community, the white community, and have a dialogue, share the blessings and challenges, eventually you will start experiencing that person as a person, and as you accept that person as a person, eventually his community also become a community of the human beings. One of the great mistakes which is made in this country is thinking that it is only white who are prejudicial. That is a wrong mistake. The prejudice is on both sides. And the only way that we can overcome this problem is by dialogue. One of the great therapists by the name C.G. Jung, he contended that dialogue is therapy, and therapy is dialogue. So, and you can find that in the ministry of Jesus Christ, particularly the dialogue he had with the Samaritan woman. And after the dialogue, there was a bridge between the Jews and the Samaritan. And they experienced the Jews and loved them, and of course they persuaded Jesus to stay with them a little bit longer. So in this talk, what I'm trying to say is that each one of us need to work hard to see to it that you are having someone of the other community, of the other race, who is your dear friend. And when you do that, then the whole community becomes a community of human beings to you. So let's not think that prejudice is on one side. It is in both sides. And let us try to find ways and means of having dialogue.